Hey, welcome to the new and improved Axion Token live streams. And of course, we're going to have some special things happen during the live stream. I told you we're going to ramp it up a little bit for 2022, and that's not changing. So welcome, everybody. Hope you subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Of course, I'm going to check the audio, make sure that's up and running. Just let me do that quickly. And we're going to have a look in a second. Just got to wait 1 or 2 minutes. But hope you guys are having a good time out there. The markets are doing some pretty major pullback stuff. We're going to look at all that during the live show. The federal interest rates, we're going to talk about a few different commentaries on those. So if you haven't got yourself up to speed, we're going to have a quick 1 minute, 2 minute kind of get up to speed on the general markets and what that means for crypto generally. So we're also going to cover Axion, of course. That's going to be a lot of fun. And so I hope you're enjoying it. We've got a studio mic now. I'm using my new iMac 24-inch, so that should be pretty cool. Let me just double check the sound here. So that sounds really good. Let me know in the chat if sounds really good. Obviously, I haven't got the PC mic on anymore. So onwards and upwards, It's pretty cool. Basically, I've got a new iMac 24-inch, as I said last year. And, of course, it's using it for the first time today. I've got a studio mic embedded in the new iMac, which is a nice bonus. So that should give me a nice, thicker, deeper, clearer, crisper voice. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It sounds pretty good. So we've got Prana in the house. Hey, Prana, good to see you. Woohoo! Superman, bringing the hype. Bring the hypers in. That's right. Sounds good to me as well. So we're going to get into it, folks. We're going to bring on a special guest to start off. So let's get in here, folks. Someone that is famous in the community and you and I both love. So here we are. Welcome. Woohoo! Crypto Casino in the house.
Hey, guys.
It's great to have you on. You are very much the only second guest I've ever had on the show. So it's
I feel privileged.
So we're going to rock on, and of course we got a few people in the chat there. Let's have a look. We got Prana in the house. We got Pizzo. Good day to you, Superman. Sound is good this side. Nice one, Pizzo. Great to see you in the chat. We also got James.
Hey, James. Pizzo, Prana. Hey, boys.
What's up, boys? Yeah, so very cool. James McFadden, of course, an Axion Token channel member. Big shout out to you. I appreciate the support as always. And of course, now we've got upgraded live stream with the iMac 24-inch studio mic embedded, and we're rocking the DMB. There's no head mic here, no PC mic, no tinny sound that some people complain about. It's onwards and up for 2022. And of course, we've got special guest, another huge Axion community content promoter, of course, Crypto Casino in the house. So we're going to be a lot of fun today. So very, very cool. Hi, CC, says Prana. Shane Walks in the house. Fixation, also doing some tremendous stuff, leading some of the gorillas and, of course, the Discord social meetings Monday and Saturdays, I think it is. So very, very cool. Great to see you. Hey, folks, how are we? Very good. And James,
morning, mate.
Woo-hoo. So welcome, Crypto Casino. How's things?
All good, mate. All good. What I'd like to comment on is it looks very, very crisp behind you.
Yeah,
it's like super 4K.
Yeah,
awesome
you can
stuff.
see my 15-year-old acne or something.
No, you look awesome, mate. Absolutely awesome.
That's fantastic. All right, so looking good, folks. Hey, welcome everybody. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell. And if you haven't checked out Crypto Casino's channel, hit the channels tab, and you'll find Crypto Casino there. Go subscribe. Also, Axion Officials there. Go subscribe to that channel as well. And you'll get some good hardcore Axion content as well as launch partners as well, which is a pretty big deal. So very, very cool. So when's your next video coming up on your channel, Crypto Casino?
Probably in a couple of hours' time, mate, when we finish the live.
Very, very cool. I love it. I love it. All right, so we're going to get into some of the stuff and, just interrupt as we go because it's going to be a bit of fun. And here we are. We're on Axion.network. Now, if you're new to Axion, of course, you're watching this after the live show, which tends to get a lot of viewers after that time. Then check out Axion.network if you're a new investor, and it's the best way to do your investment due diligence. Obviously, nothing on this channel is investment advice, just infotainment. But do your investment due diligence. Check out Axion.network. If you have any questions, of course, get into Telegram and Discord. Axion has 24/7 help, which is and I don't know anyone else that does that in crypto casino. Do you know anybody else that does that?
Not offhand.
No, I don't know anybody. I'm trying to think through all the projects that gives you 24/7 help. It's just unbelievable. And you can also log a support ticket in Discord. And that's second level service. I mean, it's absolutely outstanding. So if you have that, we're just going to quickly go through the website. We've got the about page, of course, roadmap, white paper. We've got how to buy Axion, which is pretty important. We've got the accelerator, which is instead of buying on the market through how to buy, you can buy it through the accelerator and get all the extra bonuses. We cover that continually on this channel, as a crypto casino covers that too. And of course, the Collider is a bonus that you can go through there and get bonus investments. You'll get a 4% chance of winning a bonus stake, as we call it. And of course, lots of news and updates. And in the Launchpad, Axion launches other projects on its Launchpad. And of course, that gives you early access and special bonuses, discount rates, pre-sales, IDOs, all that sort of stuff for those Launchpads. And they've been pretty cool. We've got Vabble's doing pretty well. We've got, what's the other one, Crypto Casino?
We've got Vabble, Luxy, Securitants, and Warp.
And Warp, yeah. And so Warp's coming up. And that we're going to have a quick look at that later in the live stream. That is looking pretty amazing as well. Super growth there.
Ermaherd is in the house. Good morning, Ermaherd.
Ermaherd, woohoo! Nice one. We got CC and Superman tag teaming, says Franny. You know how we roll.
Axion Army's coming, boys.
Axion Army is coming 2022. Hey, it's the YouTube content promoters are gonna grow, and also the Guerrilla Army is growing too. So we're going to take over different social media platforms. That's what's happening. And Axion Army, that's right. And Andreas,
the Gorillas on Twitter are doing fantastic, aren't they?
Yeah. Big shout out to the Gorillas. We certainly appreciate their work. They're doing amazing. And big clap out to Andreas. Very cool. Andreas does a great thing in the community as an Axion Foundation team, as well as a moderator on this channel. So very cool. All right, so here we are on Axion Network. Check it out, folks. The link's in the video description for this. And, of course, the other one is, of course, going to the accelerator. If you want to get all the bonuses to stake, that is to invest. Axion is a certificate of deposit, but not an ordinary one. It is supercharged. It has a pretty cool wrap Bitcoin divs as well. So we're going to jump over to Axion Accelerator. We're going to see how that goes. We're going to briefly cover this tonight because we've got so much to talk about. But basically, every 24 hours, the accelerator ticks over, and it's got 375 million Axion. First in, first served. We've got 12 hours and 6 minutes to go until it gets recharged. That's refill. You can see that 3% at the moment. And, of course, that will go down over time. The other side of it is, of course, you can see the statistics at the bottom. You got the amount of Axion sold so far through the accelerator, 12.7 million. Pretty cool. And the Axion burned. So that was 6.5 million. And, of course, wrap Bitcoin paid out as well is currently $177. But as you know, this is only 3% sold so far. So as you get in there, you'll get some of that bonus, and that will start going down. The more investors that get on there, pretty cool. Now, on average, since Axion's been on here for the last 3 months, about $20,000 is going through the accelerator every day on average. So it's pretty impressive. It was originally modeled at, I think, around 14,000, wasn't it, CC?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, something around that vicinity. So it's really performing very well on an average daily basis. So very cool. The other thing, of course, is that if you want to invest, it is on Polygon Network, super cheap, super fast fees. And, of course, nothing like Ethereum, which is, pretty horrendous these days. And, of course, Axion took the initiative 3 months ago to get on here early and has paid dividends. No pun intended. Wrap Bitcoin dividends, anybody? Yes, that's what it's paid. So there we are. Very cool. So when you invest in Axion, obviously you get Axion, 8% per annum, plus you get wrap Bitcoin dividends, and you also get a particle NFT, which could get your bonus stake as well, or bonus investment up to 10x times your initial investment. So very cool. If you did 1,000, you could end up getting 2,500 or 2,640. I think it's the maximum. Actually, it's got 2,484 at the moment on the particle bonus. So pretty cool. And of course, there's lots more perks in that as well. Now, the best thing is, of course, is to hook up your wallet. And after you've done your investment due diligence, check the token that you want to use. You can use Matic, Wrapped ETH, USDC, DAI, Wrapped Bitcoin, and Chainlink. And of course, you just put the amount that you want to invest, say $1,000. So we might do 550 Matic. Let's see that. So 550, that's about $1,000. And of course, the longer you stake is really how longer pays better. It's that simple. So the longer you stake, the more you get out of the benefits. And there are 4 benefits here. There's the accelerated bonus, which you can get up to 15%. So you get one more percent each year that you invest. So 15 years is 15%. And of course, on top of that, you got big payday bonuses, those for the next 4 years. And of course, you see big payday 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you stake for a long period of time, 350 days, on top of that. So 350, 700, etc. You will get all those 4. It gives you a big payday bonus. Then on top of that, you get your potential Collider NFT bonus, and you can use that in the Collider, which is Axion's second product. So we've got the Accelerator, the Collider, and of course on top of that, you'll earn wrap Bitcoin dividends, which you can withdraw at any time. So those are the 4 big bonuses, folks. That really, really is important. And of course, if the shortest you can stake is 120 days, we'll plug that in, and you can see the difference. So you don't get any accelerated bonus or big payday bonus, but you still get the particle NFT, and you also get wrap Bitcoin dividends. So it's very, very cool. As soon as you go to 350 days, you will then start getting the bonuses. You'll suddenly get 1% for the first year. As I said, it's 1% per year. So every year you stake, you get another percent through the accelerator. Plus, you'll get the first big payday. You can see that's ticked there, whereas the other ones aren't ticked. Now, if you obviously increase that, let's say you go to 700 days, you're going to start increasing that. So you get 2% now. And then, of course, you're going to get big payday. You got 2 big paydays. That's how it works, folks. Pretty easy. Connect your wallet and then accept that transaction. Super cheap on Polygon. And then, of course, your stake that you get from here will show up on the stake page. And, of course, this is a new one here, so I'm going to click on there. And then, of course, you'll get your particle NFT that you get will show up on the NFT page. And if you want to use that, you can either sell it on OpenSea NFT exchange, or you can use it in the Collider and get a 4% chance of winning. And you could get up to 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x on your original investment. That'd be a huge, major ROI or major payday. So that, folks, is pretty cool. Those are the main products: Accelerator, Collider, Stake tab, of course, where your stakes are, the NFTs, etc. And those are the main things that you need to know about the Axion portal. On top of that, of course, is the launch partners. And, of course, we've had all these launch partners. And, Crypto Casino covers this a lot. What do you have? You got much to say about these ones, Crypto Casino?
Well, I think, to be honest, with the ecosystem, what Axion is doing, anyone that's watching this, that say not in the live stream, you might see this in a day or 2 or something like that. I think one of the best ecosystems is what they're doing with the launch partners. And if you haven't seen it already, listen and watch the channel, which is a link on Discord of Pullen actually went through with the launches, and he drops a hint. I don't know if you heard that bit.
Picked that up too. Yeah.
A household name could be one of the launches that's coming up.
Yeah, so there's two launches at least coming up in the near term, and one of them seems to be a household name. This could be just a huge thing for Axion, a launchpad. Yeah, massive. So spread the word, folks, out there. Spread the word, because this is going to be pretty huge. And, man, it's going from strength to strength. You see the Warp project is doing super well. And, of course, I think it's over 15,000 people now in the Discord. It really is massive. There's only going to be 10,000 ships. So there's going to be somewhat of a huge demand from that, from the looks of it. And that seems to be growing all the time. The other thing, of course, this big household name for one of the launch pads coming up, and possibly a really nice discount price as well. This could be pretty exciting as well. CC, it's just mind-boggling, really. The team keeps pushing the boundaries. Really is great to have. I think Axion's the most innovative certificate deposit project out there by a long shot.
Yeah, it really is. I know a lot of us have been a bit despondent with price movement and stuff like that, but you've just got to look at stuff like, say, go back 5 months ago. If you invested in something like, say, Cardano, you would have got in at nearly the top, $3. And Cardano, roughly, off the top of my head now, is about $1 and something, $1.30, 40, something like that. So you've technically lost half your funds if you was to sell now, but all you do is hodl. That is it. That's all you do, guys. Patience is key.
Yep, absolutely. And so Axion's done a huge thing of changing tokenomics, improving it. And I really do think we've absorbed a lot of the sell. Obviously, the crypto market at the moment with the Axion is paired to Ethereum. And so it will move up and down, relatively speaking, to Ethereum and the US dollar amount. So that's just something that all crypto has to do if you're pegged to the major cryptos. So it's going to be interesting. I know the team is looking to move at some stage, market conditions permitting, probably to a stable coin, maybe USDC or DAI, and probably pegging that and moving, getting decorrelated, based on having a stable coin rather than moving with ETH or crypto. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the future. So that's something else that people can monitor moving ahead. Very, very cool. Well, let's go to the chat just briefly before we move on to the next topic. So we've pretty much talked about the Axion platform. This is the Axion portal. We've talked about most of the stuff there. But once again, if you have any further questions, get into Discord or Telegram before you invest, because very, very cool. We've got Andre says, yeah, it was modeled at 14K average. Hey, pretty good. I just picked that out of my head there, CC. So it was pretty good memory there. But I did watch the video yesterday, and the highlights did stick in my mind. So that was pretty good. Someone got 4 million from the Collider this morning. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, I think, because I saw that someone won 4 million Axion, folks. I'm not sure what their multiplier was, but we can actually I can't check it out on here, but we can check that. That's pretty amazing. And Crypto Casino says, nice. So very cool. Prana says, even at 1,000 Gwei on Polygon, it shouldn't cost more than $1 or $2 to buy and stake through the accelerator. Yeah, I'm not sure if those Gweis have stayed up that high now. Have they pulled back? And there was a little bit congestion there. I'm not sure what the reason behind that was. Maybe something. CC, did you see why the Polygon network spiked to 2,000 Gwei for a little bit?
I think it's just a movement with new projects coming onto the Polygon. And,
right, the growth, is it?
Yeah, I think it's just the growth.
Yeah, it's a stellar growth. Polygon Matic's doing something like 3 to 4 million transactions a day, typically. So I know that when they were getting spammed, when we were down at 1 Gwei, they had to move the price up to 30 Gwei. And we're having that actually reduced it by about 1 million or so transactions per day. So it really is big. That compares to, of course, Ethereum that's doing about 1.2, 1.3 million transactions a day. But you've got the super high gas fees. It costs you so much money to do stuff there.
But the crazy thing is, Superman, as Prana's pointing out, 1,000 Gwei, $1 or $2.
Yeah.
Imagine 1,000 Gwei on Ethereum.
Yeah. That's just insane. Yeah. Zano and the Braino. Hey, Crypto Jackson in the house. Hey, I like the Superman outfit there. Pretty nice. Hey, thanks, Superman, for all you do for the Axion space. You are a legend. I appreciate that. Big shout out. And Shane Walker says the new partner I hear already has an iOS and Android app for mobile. I hear that's right. And I also heard that they also I'm not sure if it's the household name, but the other project, I'm not sure which one they talked about now, so maybe my memory's not so good, but was talking about that they already have a huge following, 100,000 or something. It's quite large. Crypto Casino says he sure is, Jack 3, and nice one there, CC. And Prana says, yep, Shane Walker, that's what one of the potential two partners had. So, yeah, the partners just keep getting better and better and better. And I think if I look all of them, like Securitas, Babel, Luxy, Warp, they all look pretty stellar to me. So those are all commercial ones. I'd always call commercial. And I've always said that on this live stream. I always love more commercial-oriented one. Of course, Warp is taking DeFi to the next level there. So very, very exciting. Luxy is doing spectacular with the NFT marketplace, going to compete with OpenSea. Babel, of course, going to try and get some market share in the video streaming, movie streaming space with the likes of Netflix and other things. So definitely looking very exciting. And Securitas in the regulatory crypto space. So, it's certainly a lot of fun there. Now, if you haven't seen, Crypto Casino covers all the launch partners quite in depth. So go check out Crypto Casino's channel. And Crypto Jack says, lick that like button, and subscribe. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Prana says, that's what Pullen said in his simulation town hall. Yeah. You mean his town hall was a simulation? It wasn't even real? Oh, my gosh. No, that was pretty cool. So Pullen is the marketing director for Axion, and he did a wonderful modeling simulation for the inflation in Axion, the price, the way the tokenomics has been changed to improve the price moving forward. So if you do look at the price chart, it looks like it's flattening out now. And of course, subject to the crypto market, it looks like that the buybacks are going to be pretty cool. There's a vote coming up to move it to 70%. And I think that looks pretty favorable. CC, what do you reckon?
I do. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what I had in my cup of tea, but it's certainly kicked me into the next gear there. I'm not sure what you're drinking there, CC. Yeah, have you got your McDonald's coffee or what? I don't know.
I've actually got what you call a soup mug, which holds about 2 normal cups of coffee, and I've drank that. And in a second, I'm going to run back in and make another Nescafe coffee.
Excuse my French, you bloody legend, you bloody legend.
But before I do, just a quick off-topic thing here, guys. So, for instance, Babel, yeah. And I think a lot of, say, new investors to Axion can't probably grasp this, right? Listen, we've got Warp, we've got Luxy, we've got Babel. Let's just concentrate on these 3 guys for a minute, yeah? Imagine when Luxy launches, let's say it is really, really popular. It is the OpenSea of Polygon and it does very well. Imagine all them new investors that are coming in that then will think, well, where was Luxy launched from? And then they're going to look at Axion. So we're going to have potential new investors there. The same with Warp and the same with Vabble. I'll just quickly search this, guys. Guess how many Netflix subscribers are just in the United States and Canada alone? 74 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, so
that's like a quarter of the population.
Just imagine Vabble can just get 10% of that. Now, bearing in mind, that's not Netflix, the whole world. That is just the United States and Canada.
Yeah.
So the point being is, if Vabble does well and does everything what they say they're going to do, you know, so in 2023, 2024, let's say just 10% of that, 7 million subscribers, for instance. Imagine how many of them millions are then going to come over to Axion. It's a no-brainer to me with the launch pads at the end of the day.
I think you're making a really powerful point that now is such a great time to get into Axion. You've got all these launch pads, just huge communities are coming down the pipeline, big brands, and that looks super exciting. It's going to have huge impact, I think, moving into 2022. So very, very cool. And of course, we talked about the gorillas doing awesome stuff, getting the word out there. So they're going to, be that first line of promotion. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump over to we're going to miss past the dashboard today. I think we had a bit of burn on today, but we're going to talk about that in the next live stream. We're going to jump over straight away to the Axion price and quickly talk about that. I've got the hourly on here. So we've had a bit of zigzag at the moment, but that's actually holding up pretty well, CC, versus the crypto market and what's happening with the stock market and stuff like that. So still holding up at quadruple 05, which is pretty nice.
I think that is our bottom.
Yeah.
And if you really pan out, is we are sort of arcing.
A daily? Look at the daily.
Yeah. We are sort of arcing.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of an arc to it. So if anyone that don't know trading, when you see a potential arc, is the only way is up from there. And as what Pullen said in the video the other day, for the next 6 months, there's not a lot of unstakes coming out.
No.
Yeah. So that's another bullish sign, guys. You know.
Yeah. I don't know what I've done here, but I've accidentally pulled up some charting thing. But there we are. You're right, absolutely. So this is curved down, and we had some key points in here. We had Big Payday 1, didn't we? And we had a Bitcoin div claimers. So they were all free claimers, and so we had to absorb that. And the team's done a brilliant job in that. And then, of course, they launched the Diamond Stake NFT around the end of around October there. And, of course, that absorbed, I think, something like 2 billion of Axion or somewhere in that mark. So that was really cool. And so the team's been doing brilliant, changing the tokenomics. And I think we're getting in that final tweak. I think that final tweak to 70% could be the perfect place. I think that's a sweet spot. And as you say, moving ahead, we've got these huge launch partners coming. We've got really good growth in that. We've got Axion sitting pretty sweet with its tokenomics. Not a lot of stakes coming out. And that really bodes well for a nice price rise as well. So very, very cool. Huge. So that's pretty much the price. You got anything else to say on that one, CC?
Just exactly what you've just sort of said there, to be honest with man. Yeah.
So very, very cool. We can actually look at I think we've got enough data now to look at the DMI. So we'll have a quick look at that on the TAs. So yeah, we've got the buyers being greater than sellers at the moment, CC. And that's on the daily. Look at that. The green is the buyers, the sellers is the red. So that's looking pretty positive. And
it's looking bullish, guys. It's looking bullish.
Yeah, it is looking bullish. And we've got it, as I did in the live stream yesterday, we've got 3 major large buyers buying at the moment. And the sellers have seemed to be falling off the big sellers. So it's definitely this chart confirms that the buyers are starting to take a bit of command there, despite the fact that the crypto market is, under pressure at the moment, with Bitcoin, breaking its 40K and Ethereum under 3,000, which are 2, important number biased, targets there. So cool. Also I think we got a nice, good amount of room, of course, in the RSI, to move up. You need a nice low RSI here to move up. And look, it's on an uptrend, CC.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's on an uptrend.
Yeah.
So very, very cool. I mean, we can let's put a little line in that. But, basically, look, that's on an uptrend there. And look, all the way up there. I like
you're
that.
gradually getting higher lows there, yeah.
Yeah. So just I'm simplifying it, but that's kind of the way. I mean, you can even put it down there and put it the lows of the RSI, and that's looking good. So, and plenty of room to move, long way to move. So very, very cool. I like it. And I think that's so with the ARC, with the not many stakes coming out, with some definitely at least 3 big buyers in at the moment, probably more going to come, and of course the buyers showing the confirmation there, and the RSI looking improving. It does look pretty good, especially in the current market conditions. So very, very cool. All right, let's jump over to I want to jump over to Warp. So we're going to jump over to Warp and see this. I just want to talk about this. So this is Warp. We're going to pull in just on this one particular project at the moment. This is the one that the Axion development team, the software team, has moved into. And of course, 15,500 members in Discord. That's crazy growth in such a short time. Really is epic. Twitter follows 15,800 CC. Pretty amazing. And the launch date is coming up pretty closely. We've got this last announcement that we had. I think that's coming. Let me just scroll down here. It's probably because I'm in a new server here, but pretty cool. It's the last announcement for yesterday. Warp is entering the final test phase before launch. I mean, this is massive. You got much to talk about this, CC?
I'm just amazed by the artwork. I believe Joel's done a lot of it, on the ships, and I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it, to be honest. Really, yeah.
And he was in the movie industry, so that's why we're getting this top class quality artwork. It's just phenomenal. So pretty nice. Let's get into. Just going to go through a bit of highlights on this one. So as our Discord members blow past 15,000, that's fantastic.
Just going to grab a coffee, mate. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah, you grab a coffee. I'll see you back shortly.
Mate, okay.
Our final phase testing launches today for our internal team. Over the next 24 hours, we're doing a dry run of our ecosystem where we're going to start the Earth, and that looks pretty cool. So we're going to dry run our ecosystem where we're starting the Earth, buying bonds with Starship parts, assembling Starships, rolling out each planet over the course of a few hours, and then doing the final test on staking, unstaking, light speed traveling. It's exciting for us to see months of work being finalized and tested in a complete ecosystem rollout. Every piece of the project is being tested at this accelerated pace, so we make sure when we release it for season 1 launch time, everything goes perfectly. So fantastic. That's the season 1, folks, going to launch soon. And of course, that's amazing. Now, this is the final complete season for test for season 1 Warp, which means that on Friday, we'll have the go or no go for launch. So very, very cool. Obviously, in New Zealand, we're a bit ahead of time, so that's probably coming up there in their time zone. If everything comes back clear and there's no issues, we'll be starting a 5-day countdown time launch. Woohoo! And you can do the math on that one. So very exciting for this project and massive growth. Very, very cool. And you guys are here early. If you've come to this watching this live, you're here early. So get into Discord. I've got the links to Warp in the video description. Get in there, folks, and check it out, as well as Discord. So I've got the website and Discord there in the video description. Check it out. So you got 2 things to check out, Axion and Warp. Get into it. It's the way to go if you want to look at really good opportunities, being at the right place at the right time. Things you should know before the launch. As we approach the launch date, keep in mind that you'll need to have either DAI or MAI in your wallet on a Polygon address. Remember, Polygon is the second layer of Ethereum. Super fast, super cheap, generally speaking. If you need to migrate assets from one chain to another, a great way to do it is using the Synapse, the official bridge partner of Warp. Visit synapseprotocol.com to get started. You'll need a little bit of Matic in your wallet address to transact on Polygon. So buy and swap or buy or swap some of your stable to get some Matic. We're recommending having at least 1 Matic token. Parts are going fast, and this is the stuff that's really a kicker. This stuff is really a kicker. With more in our Discord and Twitter communities than there are Starships available, folks. Oh my gosh, this is the ideal. Demand is greater than supply kind of situation. Very exciting. We're expecting all parts to be sold out within 24 to 48 hours. It's mind-blowing, CC.
Yeah, I'm back, mate.
That's mind-blowing. You got to the good part. You come back just at the good part here. It's parts are going fast with more people in our Discord and Twitter communities than there are Starships available. We're expecting all parts to be sold out within 24 to 48 hours. That's mad crazy.
That's crazy.
That is just crazy. Very, very cool. So if you want to have your Starship and not have to buy it on OpenSea, make sure you're prepared for our launch with enough stable to collect at least 3 parts via bonding. And you won't want to miss out. This looks like a multi-million-dollar enterprise here, CC. It looks amazing. We're going to do one more final Discord invite competition. And of course, it will be a chance to win USDC, more starters, and get the big community pushed to 20,000 members, CC. Amazing. Stay tuned for these details. The leaderboard will be reset for the new launch, so everyone will be able to get a chance to bring in their friends and communities. Stay tuned as always. We've got some more exciting partnerships coming out between now and the launch. So make sure you keep up to date with what's going on, as you'll never know what might be coming to Lightspeed and beyond. So very, very cool. And I love that artwork. Very cool. Yeah, that's the most simple artwork, and that looks fantastic. Really is amazing. Look at some of this stuff here. I think this is in the competition. And got some cool little spaceships in there. So very, very nice. People have done. These are people that have done it in the community, I believe. And of course, here's some of the cool artwork. There's some of each partner that comes on board, they get their own spaceship type things, don't they? It's pretty neat. I think even planets. Is that right, CC?
Sorry, say again, Superman.
So every partner that comes in, they get like their own set of spaceships and planets or something like that. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and you, I don't know if it's still open at the moment, but you can, or you could. I mean, if I'm honest, I've not been on the warp for about a week because I've been working away. But if I remember rightly, each of these projects you can have the chance of winning.
Right. A ship. But the artwork looks fantastic. Just going through some of the images now.
It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
it really is fun. This is basically mixing GameFi and
DeFi. Beefy finance is huge.
Yeah, it's mixing those two together, isn't it? And it's making investment fun. It really does look amazing. And I think, as I understand it, the first spaceships to get to the planets kind of get the highest APY or something like that. I think that's how it works.
Yeah, well, I've had this discussion with a couple of my, let's say, sort of whale friends. And we've all done the same thing. We've used 3 or 4 separate wallets. So I've got, I think, about 12. I think I managed to get about 12 NFT parts. So hopefully I can build a ship out of that, maybe sell some on OpenSea. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of my friends are already gearing up to go beyond the first planet. You know, they're already talking that. So if my friends are saying that, guys, imagine everyone else out there that's thinking the same thing. It's going to be huge.
That is crazy. Yeah. So are those friends that have been involved with Axion, or are they completely new?
2 of them, I got into crypto back in 2017, and I onboarded another couple last year through Axion. Yeah. Okay. So, but all of them are invested in Axion. They all believe in Axion as well. And 3 of my friends at the Foresight have all done the launch pads the same as me. So,
that's fantastic. I guess you guys might be even able to work. I don't know how the game completely works, but you might be able to work as a team, perhaps, to get the best results too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I was actually speaking about.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to your progress on that. Maybe we'll get some updates for sure.
Get our own space station.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, so we might just so that's warp, folks. We're going to obviously go to the website. This is the warp bomb. Look at this. It looks pretty amazing straight off the bat. You've got to dodge the it's kind of interactive health and fitness. You've got to dodge the rays of warp light or whatever, but pretty cool. So if you haven't checked out this, folks, check it out. Staking, bonds, ships. We actually might jump to the ships here. We're not going to read through the whole thing today. We will be covering this again on another live stream. But look at some of the ships. It looks very cool. You need 3 parts. You need a hull, a bridge, and an engine to make a ship. Isn't that right? So you have to buy a certain amount of parts to get a ship. Depending on how you do it. And of course, you need fuel cells to run the ship. So 4 of those, I think that's, if you were lucky enough to get all the right parts, that'd be about $1,000. Is that right, CC?
The 3 parts, I mean, obviously us that was staking in Axion, we got it for, I believe it was about $150 less than what it's going to go onto the market.
Yeah. But once for the retail, for the general people.
For the retail, I think it's $250 a piece, basically.
Yeah. And of course, once that's the initial launch, once they go tradable, they could be any sorts of prices, right?
Oh, yeah. You could be talking $1,000 each one.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. So you got the shuttle here, Dragonfly. So this is season 1 starships that are coming out. You got Shuttle, Dragonfly, Hercules, Horizon, Javelin, Viper. So they look pretty cool. And you got other ones coming up. I like this little spaceship one, this little old spaceship here. That's pretty classic. But there's some nice artwork in here. Very, very cool. And of course, I think there's partnerships as well. Like the partners have ships. Pretty sure that's the case. So pretty cool.
I want the pirate ship.
Yeah, the pirate ship. I love that. That looks kind of cool. Reminds me a bit of Peter Pan sort of thing, but very, very cool. All right, so that there is the website. You can check it all out, folks. You've got staking, bonds, starships, partners, which are quickly growing pretty fast. Look at all those partners. Oh, my gosh, really, really good. Hats off to the Warp team and for doing that. Look at that. And even got Luxy there, which is one of the partners of Axion. I'll run through the launch pad of Axion, so nice. And obviously Axion and Luxy there. You've got Polypunks, Beefy Finance, Yield Enhanced Labs, so some really good partners there. Polydodge as well. And some nice ones, yeah. So and it's growing all the time, right? So very, very cool. Nice. And of course, it's led by many of the Axion team members as well, obviously by you as the captain of a ship. CC will like that. See, CC, you're going to be in charge of all the rest of your crew. Look at this. These are all your crew. You have to let them know. You have to let them know who's boss, CC, that's for sure. All right, let's jump over to some of the market stuff. We're going to talk about, obviously, we've just talked about Axion and its launch partners and all the exciting stuff that's happening, about the awesome opportunity for 2022. The Axion seems to be in that really ripe spot. We're going to look at the current market conditions at the moment. Crypto is having, obviously, we've got BTC. We've got the total amount down at 1.83 trillion. Of course, that was over 3 trillion CC before. So that's down 3% just on the last 24 hours on the overall market. You can see that pullback. Bitcoin is actually went down to 38,000. It seems like it's bounced back a little bit at 39,200, and Ethereum was down at 2,800. It's bounced back almost $100. But they both broke those crucial 40,000, 3,000 marks. You see, so yeah, interesting stuff happening there. So pretty much pretty strong pullback. Obviously, that's been affected by the Federal Reserve interest rates and monetary tightening. And of course, that's also impacted the stock market. So we're going to just jump over to some of the other indices here. We've got, so we're on TradingView at the moment. So this shows you the indices. It's got the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. You can see they're all negative. And you can see the run-up that they've had. This is all time here. So you see, look at the run-up.
Yeah.
So you see, after you've had such a big run-up over so many years, and if you look back at 2004, 2008, you see the correction in 2008 there, and we've just had a run-up pretty much ever since. So when the Federal Reserve has just had low interest rates, has had done a lot of market buying, QE1, QE2, all those sort of monetary buying periods where they've flooded the market with money. The assets have all got all got priced up, and we've had this huge run. Look at that, 2008, huge run, and this is what the market's worried about. Now you got market pullback, interest rate rises after a very long period, and so this pullback could get more severe. Some people are talking 20%, but it could go much more severe than that. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously the Fed's not going to be too crazy, but I think they're only going to be able to pull back inflation just a little bit. That's the problem they're trying to solve. US inflation 7%, so they're trying to pull that back a bit. They can't do it too much because they're only going to be able to get a bit of it back. It is a blunt instrument at this stage, and so yeah, that I don't expect it to be. Would argue if they don't do too many rises, then maybe 20% pullback is possible in the stock market there with this S&P 500 and the Dow Jones 30. So the Dow Jones is the top 30 industrials, folks, and S&P has got a lot of the tech companies and all that stuff in it. So pretty cool indication. All right, so let's jump over from that. We've got the futures. The other thing I want to point out is the oil is obviously rising super high ever since the U.S. administration has moved away from self-sufficiency. It's now handed over its power, as it were, and now oil's going through the roof. Gasoline prices have been rising, and of course, lots of other issues have been happening there too. So the US dollar now has been strengthening. So you got the US dollar currency index. So that's the US dollar versus a basket of other currencies. And of course, you can see that the US dollar started strengthening again. And so there is a bit of risk off. The US dollar are getting a bit of risk off. So people wanting US dollars again as the international, global currency. So that's pretty much happening there. I think there's probably all I want to talk about. The other thing, of course, is bonds. The bond 10-year rate. People are talking about that going over 3%. That's 1.792 at the moment. That's 10-year bonds, government bonds there. So over 3%, that's a pretty amazing move. That would be some pretty severe outcome at this stage from this point of view. So we'll watch out for that too. Other than that, even all the favorite stocks, pretty much the stock market's driven by, the top tech companies, Amazon, Apple, those sort of things. And even they're down at the moment. So, that says something, doesn't it? It says a lot. All right, let's jump over to some of the comments there. So those are basically what's happening in the charts. We're going to read through just a couple of these things. We've got Bitcoin dumps to hit 6 months lows near 38,000. We see it's just started to recover a little bit from there, but broke the 40K. Bitcoin is leaning its way down for all crypto as macro indicators may spell disaster for the market in the short term, according to some analysts. So you got to remember this is written by a certain person trying to create a certain theme. So just take that account when you're reading it. Bitcoin has dumped 7.5% in the past 12 hours, plunging to 6 month lows from 43K and of course to 38K. So that's in the last 6 months. At the time of writing, Bitcoin was trading at 38,761. We can see it now; it's back over 39,000. Total price crash has so far. So this is dated, by the way, on the 1 hour ago. This is dated 1 hour ago, so it's hot off the press. This one, and this is on Cointelegraph. Today's price crash was so far wiped out 50 billion from the overall crypto market. We can actually see that we're basically down about 1.3 trillion from the high. So that's pretty massive if you think about it like that. The total crypto market has been on a slow decline since early November 2021 when it reached a peak of 3 trillion, which is what I said. Without a single bombshell piece of news that many could blame the dump on, investors are wondering what caused the price action. Well, we pretty much know what that was. So we're going to talk more about that. Some pointed to macro indicators with tech stocks and NASDAQ entering into correction territory, and several interest rate hikes are expected to come in 2022. The only problem with that, of course, is quite a few of the corporates have been reporting pretty good results, CC. So, that's not entirely a good explanation. I think we know what the explanation is. There's really the Fed and the interest rate and the money supply issues, the big one that's been pumping up all the assets. But Bitcoin moves in mysterious ways. It certainly does. It could just as easily be in the news that Bitcoin Bill Raoul Pal has apparently sold all his Bitcoin and only has one left. Well, we know of other people that have been selling. They believed that their bear market the cycle was coming down, and so they're probably all sold out. And no doubt Raoul Pal was one of those. That's what they've been doing. The Rec Capital Twitter account notes that the current pattern playing out shares a few similarities with the price behavior in late 2017, 2021. At that time, Bitcoin tumbled several times from about 52 to 41,000 from September to October. It proceeded to rise up to 69,000 by early November. Now, in Axion, of course, people have got about that when the price was peaking out, CC, about $10 million, can you believe it, through Axion as dividends. Pretty amazing, eh?
That was crazy, yeah.
Yeah. So this sort of news does impact if there's still a lot of those Axion investors holding it. This is interesting to them. Obviously, if you're a long-term hodler, you're just going to go through the cycles, whatever they might be. It's probably the other way of looking at it. So with over 85,000 followers, suggest that bears need Bitcoin under 41,000 to pocket 132 million in gains. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of people shortening, doing margin shorts on Bitcoin and making profit as the price goes down. So BTC up 4%, down 9%, all in 12 hours. Welcome to options expiry. Bears are in control. They need Bitcoin under 41,000 to pocket 132 million in gains. Seatbelts, please, or this. Welcome to Friday expiry. So obviously some options expires as well. So interesting stuff there. BTC is not the only crypto to plunge today. Ether, Binance, BNB, Solana, Cardano, Ripple, all the other leaders have all experienced a severe corrections, between 6 and 10% last 12 hours. So among all the top 10 coins by market capitalization, ADA experienced the biggest overall loss as it dropped 10%. And today's buggy launch of Sunday Swap, which I did cover on this live stream, did not appear to help matters. Now, the last item I did have on the live stream was the fact that they had issues with the testing, so that was all right. Forbes contributed Billy Bamber suggested in an article today that investors have been rattled by recent announcements from the Federal Reserve Bank that it would shrink its balance sheet and raise interest rates. And I think that's the big mover for the time. So we're going to jump over to that. That's good lead-in. And, of course, we've got this cool article here. This is on marketplace.org. After we learn more about the Federal Reserve's increasingly hawkish intentions to raise interest rates this year, in part to control inflation, the NASDAQ fell more than 3% on Wednesday, and the S&P fell almost 2%. But here's the thing. Cryptocurrencies fell too. Bitcoin was down 5%. Ethereum was down nearly 7%. Those are the same cryptocurrencies that we have been told don't follow the normal rules of currencies and stocks. But it looks like they kind of do. Well, not all of them do, right? So this is generalized language. And as I always talk about on this channel, some cryptos are golden standard products. and many are not. So, and then of course you've got the general movement with the leaders, with the crypto leaders. So that's kind of what we're seeing as well. And we also know, often said on this channel, is that as long as the Fed does print money, that increases the money supply, and people use it to speculate on crypto and on every other asset on the planet. This is what happens. So that the balloon just inflates. That's what we see, and we also see that in the chart, in the indices here on the stock market. You see that on there, and that's what you see as well on the crypto market as it floats up and pulls back. So nothing too different there. As hedge against inflation, said Christopher Vico, senior strategist with Daily FX. On Wednesday, we learned that the Fed was getting ready to pretty aggressive in fighting inflation, with with expected inflation measures falling. If that is one of the reasons people have been investing in cryptocurrency, there's less need to be long in crypto. So in that way, cryptocurrency has been acting like gold, and the price came down. Now, for some, cryptocurrency isn't about inflation; it's about long-term gambling, and that's always true. There's just a number of projects that are about that. And even some of the leaders, some of the leading tokens, people consider that too. Although, as we always say, some of the best products in the market, I've been saying for a long time, are the seed certificate deposit projects. Put them up more in the gold standard of crypto for the long game. Most of the value propositions are for things 30 years from now. That means payoff is in the long future, said the professor of finance from Georgetown University. So some pretty interesting stuff there. But when interest rates suddenly rise in here and now, long-term bets look less attractive. And this way, cryptocurrency is acting a lot like those high-flying tech stocks in the NASDAQ. They too have big dreams long in the future, and investors got a little tired of the pie in the sky. Speaking of broken dreams, when the market takes a tumble, it also means less money for people to play within the crypto market, and that's very true. In fact, when things go south in the broader market, people will take money out of cryptocurrencies to save themselves, and we have seen that happening, especially when markets are closed. Just in our modeling, Stephanie said, from CEO of FRNT Financial, a clear correlation between accelerated sell-offs and North American equity hours. So in that way, cryptocurrency is acting a lot like perhaps the oldest investments, a weight of cash under the mattress of emergencies, I should say. That's a bit of truth in that too. So pretty interesting. Let's have a look at the next one. Of course, the next one is from CNBC. And of course, these are all linking through. So hopefully that the theme is showing through. Rising bond yields could keep a chokehold on tech and growth stocks for now, as investors bet the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates four more times this year. So that gives you a good number of what the market might be expecting from them. I would suggest that they're only maybe going to do 3, and if they do a total, it's not going to be too high. Stocks tumbled Monday with tech the worst performing sector in Treasury yield, as Treasury yields jumped. The Nasdaq. So I was talking about the 10-year yield before. So we're talking about that. People talk about that getting as high as 3%, and that means really expensive cost of lending, right? Especially if you haven't got long-term fixed lending. The Nasdaq was hit hard, slumping 2.6%. Well, the S&P lost 1.8%. The 10-year yield, which is what I pointed out before, which moves opposite price, was at a new post-pandemic high of 1.87% Monday, after trading at just under 1.8%. The 2-year yield also zipped higher, crossing above 1 to 4%. So if we look back at our indicators, we can see those indices here on the bond market. We can see the 10-year rate now is at 1.795. It's actually slipped back underneath 1.8, and that's the long-term lending rate. So we can see it's actually fallen back a little bit. For perspective, the 2-year, which mostly reflects Fed policy, was just above 0.5% at the beginning of December. So if we jump back to that, we can actually see that the 2-year rate is now 1.028. So that's interesting to see that, crossing above 1% to 1.4. So it's still halfway between these two numbers, reflecting, it was just above 0.5%. So definitely looking higher now, reflecting the Fed policy. It's basically doubled. I think a lot of this is stemming from the fact that people are starting to get even more aggressive on their calls, says Jim Caron, head of macro strategies. And of course, it was 2 rate hikes and then 3 and now 4. It could be even more than 4. So you can see why the market's responding to that. They're starting to ump the number of times they think the interest rates are going to rise. That has a massive impact on the financial markets if it does happen. Bond, remember 2 things they control: the amount of money in the markets, and also the interest rates that they're charging banks, and banks charge on to other people. Bond pros expect yields to continue to rise into the Fed's meeting January 25th. And that's what's coming up, folks, is the January 25th meeting. That's the thing what people are looking forward to in 26. So if they stay very hawkish on that, then that could, make the next week's markets also very volatile. We could see a second week of, a bit of trauma in the market, as it were. So then they will take their cue from the Fed's tone. That could mean rough sledding for stocks. So I think the next week's also going to be pretty rough. Yields rise as price falls, and bonds selling off as investors reposition ahead of the Fed meeting. So very, very cool. Karen said that the market is full of hawkish chatter, like whether the Fed could possibly make a surprise hike in January, or whether it could raise rates by 0.5% point in March, rather than the quarter point at most expect. The ante is up, is being upped, and as people start discussing and talk about these things, the equity market doesn't take it so well. He said that the Fed funds futures market is pricing in 4 quarter point hikes. So it's a quarter is 0.25%, percentage points per hikes for 2022, and a slightly possibility of more than a quarter point in March. There's also a very slight chance of a hike in January being priced in. So very, very cool. So that's the main stuff I wanted to read there. Obviously, the article goes on. I will leave the articles in the video description. You want to check out that a bit more. And of course, we've got a few more that go on here. I'll also post these as well. These are all also quite relevant. This is the point I wanted to read out. This, of course. So why they were looking at raising interest rates? Well, the real core part is here is that they're looking at the core personal consumption price index. Inflation is what they're trying to cope. Inflation is the problem, and they think they're going to raise interest rates to deal with it. The Fed's inflation gauge hit 4.7% in November. It's highest since 1989, and the forecast is averaged 4.9% this quarter. There's forecast to go downwards from there, but remain above the central bank's 2% target for the next 3 years. CPI, or Consumer Price Index, at 7%, folks. So this, and I don't think it's going away at all. It's just more problems piling up behind it. So that's why I'm taking this quite seriously. It's already at its highest in 40 years, underscoring how much of a focus price rises have become after decades of historical low inflation. So you remember, inflation is basically to your home account, your personal account is like a tax. So it really starts making cost of living very expensive. So 2/3 of respondents, 25 out of 38, said persistently high inflation poised the biggest risk to the U.S. economy over the next 12 months. So that's kind of where it's at the moment. So, and obviously the Fed is trying to react to that. When asked when the terminal Fed funds rate in the coming tightening cycle, the medium of 35 forecasts show 2 to 2.5 to 2.5%, the same as the previous hike cycle. Nearly 2/3 of those computers said that they will reach some point in 2024. So you can see a lot of that stuff. I'll leave the link for the rest of the article. And that one, we get to a final one there. Now, this is where I think the reality is. I think that the Fed is, even though it's going to raise interest rates, is really can't do too much if you think about it. And this article points it out quite nicely. If the Fed wanted to stop inflation, it would need to hike rates to nearly 6%. I agree with that. And the logic is, if you've got 7% inflation, you raise the interest rates 1 or 2%, you're going to have a big problem there. So I'm worried about high interest rates because the Fed is talking about raising rates to 1% or even 2%. Inflation is 7%, so less 1 or 2% doesn't mean anything. And that's the point. And I actually think it's going to get worse. So they're going to have a bigger problem to deal with. If they really want to stop inflation, they would have to raise rates 4, 5, 6%. And that's basically the income. And you can read the rest of that article, but I really think those articles actually sum up the situation pretty well there, CC, as well.
Yeah, it does. And, just to add to that, not going on a political one, but all the governments around the world that have done, let's say the pandemic, they've got to claw money back in the respect. For instance, in the UK, a lot of businesses here could get up to £50,000 in what we called a buyback loan. Yeah, in the first wave a few years back. All those loans are coming to fruition now, where these businesses have got to pay it back. Yeah, and what the UK government has found is a lot of them are not paying it back.
And you've got a lot of people staying home, not working now, right? They don't want to work.
That is it. Yeah, so that's a knock-on effect. And then with all what's going on in the world, as we know, with the Ukraine stuff like that, you've got a lot of uncertainty in the world at the moment. And then with oil, I think we've reached a peak with oil. This is why the price of oil is going up. I think
you've got energy costs rising. You've got inflation generally rising. You've got a lot of geopolitical risks that are very serious. And then you're trying to deal with all that, right? And you're actually boxed in. You've been printing money for 13 years, 15 years, since 2008. and now the world's money supply is so big. You've got assets at all-time highs, property assets, stock markets, obviously crypto assets, relatively speaking. And so you've got all these issues. So it really is, what I said, I think they've really boxed themselves in. And I think a lot of commentators are saying that too. So interesting stuff. And that's why I like certificate of deposit projects. Obviously, like Axion and stuff, you're earning some interest to help offset that, of course. And you can have better chance of controlling your own tokenomics, which is what the team's trying to do. And of course, with all the launch pads coming up, business keeps moving, even with such big issues around. So it does offer some haven there. So yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, crypto definitely is the future, guys.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think it's only halfway there, right? I think another.
Oh, we're still.
Right? Yeah,
we're still in very, very early stages.
Anyone
even getting into crypto this second, you're such an early stage.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen the evolution of crypto, right? From now we're looking at bridges, cross-block, cross-chain, TPS getting up, higher TPS. Some people even not needing, transactions per second speed. They're creating new technologies. So lots of stuff is really getting better and converging, right?
Yeah, and on top of that, once we get new onboarding methods, fiat on-ramps, that's easier to get into projects and stuff, where you haven't got like 3 or 4 steps, you're going to see what I call the normal investor being able to get into crypto a lot easier. I know a lot of these on Cointelegraph and stuff like that, where they say, oh, Bitcoin's dumped and this, that, and the other. But if you, as they say, if in doubt, zoom out. Yeah. If you'd invested just over a year ago in Bitcoin when it's about $10,000, you're still up on your money. Best performing asset out there. And the same with all cryptocurrencies at the end of the day. So that's it. Crypto is the future.
Yeah, I think crypto is for sure. It's just taking more and more. Well, at the same time that the Fed's looking at raising interest rates, they're also looking at their own digital currency. So there's some irony in there, Crypto Casino.
Yep. Take it, James.
That was their latest press release. They're going to making their own digital currency. How about that?
Yeah.
If you don't think there's the future, folks, well, apparently the Fed Reserve does. So there we are. That's pretty hilarious. Anyway, we'll go to some of the comments here. We've got Andreas saying how much regulated the market is becoming, I believe Securitas has a really good fundamental value. Yeah, that's what I think is kind of the out of all the commercial launch partners, I think that once they get things, obviously they're working a lot of stuff. Be interesting to see them get more visual in the crypto space because that is important. So you're definitely on there. So good observation, Andreas. And Prana says, put some peanut butter on it and then send your talk. I'm not sure what that's about there, Prana. And Prana says, I don't know what's that mean, Cryptic? I'm not sure. Maybe Prana's putting somebody else on there.
I'm scrolling through the chats.
Yeah. Because we're reading through all the financial articles just to get ourselves caught up. Missed out some of the comments there. I hope the potential new launch partners will be on a cheap chain like Polygon. Well, I think they're probably all going to be ACC.
Yeah, they will be. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I think that there's nothing stopping Axion going cross-chain, right? So there are some really good other chains. I'd like to see Axion on Pulsechain. It's definitely something I'd like to see. And of course, other people probably have other ideas around that too.
And that's what I like about Axion, guys. Yeah. We all know ETH 2.0 is probably still a few years off. Yeah. But hypothetically, let's say Vitalik come out in a few months' time and said, yeah, we've solved it all and everything else. The good thing with version 3 of Axion, we could just switch back or do cross-chain. Exactly what you're saying. So hats off to the devs that have managed to implement all of this as well. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I see a strong roadmap, right, for several years and ahead of them that they can be doing lots of value-added projects, just like Warpers added value. So very cool. Prana says, I hope the new potential. I think I've gone for that one. Securitas. Shane Walker says, Securitas is still my favorite project. And nice one there, Shane. She'll probably get Shane on here to talk about that at some stage. ACC. Prana says you can now buy some Securitas SKRT on Polygon. Oh, very cool. I didn't know that. So that's cool. Because obviously Securitas is one of the projects that we originally had on the Ethereum chain. You got anything to add around the Securitas one there, CC?
If I'm honest, Securitas has been what I call one of my more complicated ones to get my head round. Right. Very professional company, though. I don't mind.
There's a lot of information flow.
Yeah. I still haven't got my head round that one. if I'm honest, that's why I've not done too much on it, but very professional company. And I do agree with Shane. It's going to be a very, very good project, and it's absolutely juicy price at the moment, guys. It really is. I think it's about half a cent on, just 0.007. Yeah, just over half a cent, and it's all time high. It's been 11 cents. So
it's been sitting at a cent for a long time, eh? Around a cent for a long time. Yeah,
it's a good buying price at the moment. It's what I would call, like as you know, I'm with you, Trust and Electronium as well. They're what I call my pension tokens, where you just buy it, you invest it, and you leave it alone for 5-10 years. That's something that you just don't touch. They're companies that what I call slow horses, not too much what I call social media aspects, but they're proper businesses running in the background. And look at Amazon, for instance. It took 10 years before Amazon made profit. Projects like that, you put your money in, you forget it. And then Securitants, I believe that is another one that you just put your money in and forget it for a few years. I done my KYC with Securitants, obviously on one of the Axion projects.
How'd that go for you? Was that
absolutely
smooth?
Brilliant, smooth as anything, really. Very, very professional, mate.
Oh, cool. All right, well, we'll try and look for some information on them and see what we're doing lately. So that'd be cool. Prana says we got great artwork from the social gorillas and community too. Yeah, that's right. So I think we've got the highest praise for those guys. If you're out there in your gorilla, keep up the great work, folks. I think actually, Prana, you are one of the gorillas now. So keep up the great work. Really is cool. 2022, we're going to really just keep building momentum. Consistency is always the key, and build momentum with that too. So very nice. Great hype videos, says Prana. Nice. Yeah, more hype videos coming, that's for sure, because you know hype's important. Andreas says our testing is going well, no complications thus far. Woohoo! That's around the warp, folks. So we're talking about the warp. That's going cool. So testing's going well. It sounds like we could hear some news from that in the next 24 hours there, CC.
I'm hoping that one day with the spaceships on warp that we can put our own artwork on the side, and I'm going to have a picture of a Heineken beer. it'd be CC the Heineken shit.
That might be a premium feature. There might be a premium feature there.
Yeah.
You might be such a famous miner or whatever it is by that time. Captain Pilot, you might be such a famous captain that people might want to bid high money for that. Very cool. Andres says, got to head out for breakfast now. Thanks for the show as always, and have a great weekend now. Hey, Andres, all the best. I hope you enjoy that breakfast. Was it bangers and mash? Is that what you have for breakfast or for dinner? Can't remember. In the UK, is bangers and mash? Is that a breakfast or dinner? CC.
Oh, sorry, mate. Sausage, egg, and bacon I had this morning.
No. But bangers and mash. Is that a dinner or a breakfast?
Oh no, bangers and mash. That's dinner. Bangers and mash with gravy. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure Andreas is probably having some bacon and eggs or something. I don't know. Prana says, thanks for stopping by, Andreas. Very cool. And yeah, big shout out. And Critic says, take care. You're well ahead of that while I was talking, probably. I think James McCallum says, hey, gents, got a crash. Enjoyed listening while I did some trading. Nice one there, James. You multitasked. Let's connect soon. I'd like to run a couple of thoughts past both of you. Cheers. Hey, most welcome, James. Contact us on Discord or here on the YouTube, respective YouTube channels. CJ S. Diddy's got the smiles on. Hey, good to see you, CJ. And Prana says, take care, James. And a big shout out back. Yo, CJ. CJ's in the house. And finally, we caught up. That's cool. Securitants has been going to many crypto expos and trade shows. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's pretty cool insight.
I think I'd done a video a few months back, and in the video it shows them at an expo. Yeah, so Prana's right on that. Yeah, they do quite a few expos in that. Actually,
on that. Okay, that's sweet. Okay, cool. So very nice. I think that's a pretty good wrap. I mean, we've gone through all the stuff, all the content for today's live stream. And man, do you guys enjoying? Hope you're enjoying the new high def 4.5K 24-inch iMac with inbuilt studio mic. So hopefully that's lifted the standards. And of course, we've got Crypto Casino in the house co-hosting today. So very, very exciting. And make sure you go and subscribe to Crypto Casino's channel on the channels tab. Hope you've enjoyed yourself, Crypto Casino.
Well, it's my first live stream ever, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'd just like to point out, I do believe today, checking Telegram, guys, that our Axiom Friday should be 3 p.m. UTC time. Don't forget, Shane does on Saturdays, I believe, and Mondays on Discord. Yeah, and keep up with all the social gorillas on Twitter and stuff like that. Yeah. Let's build this Axion army, guys.
Yeah, it's warming up pretty nicely. We're just ramping up, folks. I hope you guys have enjoyed the content. We're just going to keep going, building, and Axion Army is expanding. The ecosystem is expanding. So welcome aboard, everybody. Prana's got a couple of things there. We've got Prana says Superman finally got his new computer after like half a year. I know it was like 6 months. I apologize, but it was actually a birthday present, believe it or not, for one of my brothers. So big shout out to him. Shane Walker says thanks for being awesome, Superman and CC. So yeah, on behalf of CC, we're welcome. You shout out yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Shane.
Prana says, yeah, absolutely. All right, that's now in 5 minutes. That's pretty good for our first one. And Crypto Casino's first live stream, OMG. And of course, so lots of firsts in this show. I said there would be lots of firsts. And yeah, very, very cool. Now, I've still got quite a bit of Axion to give away from Axion Marketing Fund. So that's coming.
Also, have I actually?
yeah, so we're going to probably, CC and I will both probably be giving some more giveaways as we move into the new year. So look forward to some of those. So very, very cool. All right, take care, Crypto Casino. And
okay, thanks for having us on, Superman. And
it's been fantastic.
Awesome to everyone in the chat. Yeah, great stuff,
it's been
guys.
fantastic. Yeah. And to everyone in the chat, thanks so much. And see you in the next one. Bye for now. Cheers.
Take care.